Hello, welcome to the programme. Now, have you heard about the Oscar nominations? They were announced today, and Alison Sharman will be in the studio later on to tell us all about them.
How about the 80-year-old actress, what's her name, Jessica Tandy?
That's right, yeah.
Nominated for Best Actress as well. Just shows you. Simon, what do you think it takes to live to a grand old age?
Oh, you're asking me. I think you should ask Jessica Tandy, quite honestly. But I reckon it's got to be kind of regular meals, regular exercise and good early nights, which is why I'm looking so terrible at the moment.
Me too. Ethel Godling from Nottingham might have the answer. She's just turned 104 and she says it's on a diet of soap operas. But she says you've got to be selective, of course, because too much TV is bad for you. So she says it's Neighbours and Coronation Street only.
Well, there's plenty for soap opera fans on tonight's show when we take the Granada Studios tour. There's also a chance to rumble through the jumble of the Hollywood stars, what they aren't wearing at the moment. Plus, we take a look at the scene, so I should say, behind the scenes here at BSB.
At the scenes later, in future
like
programmes.
Exactly.
Joining us this evening is our own soap opera expert as well, Chris Stacey, who is infamous for these socks. They're not cast-offs from any of the stars, are they?
No, I don't think so.
What have you got on them there? You've got dogs on one side and pigs on the
Pigs,
other.
that's right.
Why?
Well, I know a few pigs and I've been out with a few old dogs.
Oh. A taste of what's to come. I won't tease you anymore.
Okay.
Chris will be here later, keeping us up to date on all the latest scandals in the soaps.
Also with us is Stephanie Kalman. You've been keeping an eye on the telly for us over the past week, Stephanie. But two events stick out in my mind, and two events certainly would have had the bookies reaching for the ledgers and sharing those bets around, because one, Nelson Mandela was released from prison, of course, and two, in the same week as Mike Tyson getting put out by James Buster Douglas.
Yes, two big personalities. I was waiting for Mandela, you know, on the edge of my, well, on the edge of my seat, I was going to say. I was actually in the bar. Because finally it took so long, I thought, I'll hop in.
Gave up.
And I kept hopping out, saying, here he comes, here he comes. No, no, that wasn't it. There was another person jumping in front of the cameras. It was fascinating to see South African broadcasting finally cranking up after years of, you know, censorship. Extraordinary.
They had 27 years to get it right, and they still managed to release him an hour late. But anyway, what else have you got for us today?
Divorce can have hilarious consequences. You didn't know that, did you? In America, personal trauma keeps not only the social workers in business, but the comedy writers too. Lost your dad, little girl? Wouldn't it be fun if Mommy married a Marine? This series is so convincing, I can imagine thousands of kids watching Major Dad on BBC One every Monday and saying, gee, I wish I had someone like Oliver North for a stepfather. This is unmistakably American television. At the end of scenes, people sometimes hug each other for no reason. And the mother and her three daughters all seem to be the same age. But I like it, because the jokes are as dry as a good martini, and that's all too rare. If you ever feel like divorcing your entire family, you'll identify madly with 13-year-old Kevin in The Wonder Years. Every Sunday on Channel 4, the young hero grapples in flashback with some adolescent challenge. This week, his parents dragged him off on one of those terrible family holidays where you feel car sick for 10 hours, and Dad keeps telling you through gritted teeth to have a good time. It's beautifully observed, this. Plus, it's set in the 60s when dads were dads and trousers were flared. Frankly, I found young Kevin's thoughts much more realistic than the secret life of teenagers, as reported by Friday's Clean Slate on BBC Two. Their stuff about underage drinking passed the media snobbery test. For once, all the offenders weren't from some grey council estate, but the news that 3 out of 4 kids can buy booze easily in pubs and off-licences sounded like tabloid panic-mongering to me. It gives parents and teachers something to get hysterical about, all right, but it's hardly a basis for rational debate, is it? A word to people in the BBC's education department. Didn't your mums ever tell you not to believe everything you hear in the playground?
So, Stephanie, what are you saying? Are you saying that we shouldn't believe a lot of what we hear in these surveys?
Yes, I think so. I heard an extraordinary thing on the radio once, which was that they surveyed a lot of kids about video nasties, 10-year-olds, and something like 7 out of 10 said they'd seen video nasties, a big rumpus hoo-ha. And finally another psychologist went round to all these kids and said, do you know what a video nasty is? And they said no, no idea. So I think they were just saying yes to something that they thought was in, which is not meant to be an insult to kids. I think it's an insult to people who go around with clipboards, you know, dutifully jotting down answers that may not really be true at all. I think it's boasting somewhere.
Max Bygrave singing his greatest hits would definitely be a video nasty in my book, deadly.
Has anyone seen Sherlock Holmes, the reruns, recently? No? I think, Chris informs me reliably, I hope, that the last one's on tonight. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to have breakfast in Sherlock Holmes' dining room? Or dinner with Hilda Ogden and supper in 10 Downing Street. Of course, Hilda Ogden's front room's not there anymore. What did Kevin and Sally do with it? Remy Blumenfeld found out, and about a lot of other things, when he joined in the Granada studio tour, though nothing was quite as it seemed.
Start spreading the news. At last, a New York street where you won't get robbed or mugged, and with a bit of luck, you might even bump into a pop star. You're crossing the street. Hi, Michael. The best part of it all is that you can fly here for just $5.95. That's because this is Manchester's version of Manhattan, the first stop on the Granada studio tour. For the price of admission, you can take a trolley to Checkpoint Charlie, visit an equatorial jungle, or ride the rapids on a raft built for the children's series Return of the Antelope. It's all part of an £8 million complex designed to give visitors the feeling of being on the set of a Granada television production and give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the shows are put together. What, for instance, is chroma key?
It actually works by making the camera blind to a certain colour. You can see the colour is blue. Give yourselves a wave on these screens now, a real big wave. Anybody that's wearing blue, you will notice the blue will actually disappear into the background.
And where, except in Hollywood, could you find a room with a view like this one? Welcome to a Beverly Hills penthouse where the skyline comes complete with neon, Hollywood sign, and a landing pad for Steven Spielberg's spaceship. No spaceships, I'm afraid, on Britain's most popular street, but there's nothing to stop you slipping into the Rovers for a quick pint, or stopping by to say hello to the Duckworth.
Ken Barlow lives at number 1, right next door to the pub. We have number 3 is Emily Bishop.
That's
yeah.
right, yeah.
Number 5 is Ivy Tindon, that's right. Yeah.
And who thought we'd ever be sitting in Hilda's chair?
No.
It's down.
No.
Lovely.
Yeah, it was down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never mind. He was very nice.
Yes.
Yeah. I've seen it so many times on television. And to actually come into it now, it's very nice. I mean, it's not with my taste at all. I would have some nice new things about different wallpaper and stuff.
And one nice thing about the Granada studio tours is they even supply you with tea. Of course, the toast isn't exactly bite-sized, but what would you expect on a giant table?
Remy Blumenfeld. He's roomy as well, but don't tell him I told you. Remy Blumenfeld reporting there. If only I could get his name. Right, we'll move on now, I think, to Chris Stacey, our resident soap expert. These couch potatoes don't come much better scrubbed than Chris. It's soap in your eyes time. Chris?
Thank you, Simon.
Have you ever been on the Granada Studios tour?
No, I think it'd take away the illusion.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What, not old holograms of Albert Tatlock and Minnie Caldwell's dog and all that?
Minnie Caldwell's cat.
Bobby. Sorry,
Bobby.
you're
Who
the
could
expert.
forget it?
So what's been happening then?
Right, okay. Well, it's Happy Birthday EastEnders. Who can believe it's 5 years since we first visited Albert Square? I can't. And I'm pleased to say the show's back on form. That two-timing rat Danny has persuaded Michelle to go to Newcastle with him. Now, Simon, that will end in tears.
Will it?
Yes, believe me, it will. Because Danny has telephoned his wife, Mandy, to say he's going on his own. I warned you, Michelle. I really did. He's no good. Now, Bouncer the dog gets my vote as best actor in Neighbours. The show's so boring at the moment, and I'd never thought I'd hear myself say it, but come back, Kylie and Jason, please. The only piece of action in the show was when Mike got caught snogging one of his pupils, Jessie, in the classroom. Well, can you believe it?
I can't.
I was delighted when Headmaster Mr. Muir walked in on them and caught them at it. Someone to catch me at it. Now, we last saw Brookside's Barry Grant laying in a pool of blood after being thumped by army deserter Sean. Well, he got off lightly, Simon. He really did. And before you ask, Debbie, I can see you wanting to ask it. No, the hospital hasn't found his brain. Anyway, Sheila finally comes clean and tells Billy Sean has gone AWOL from the army. And quite rightly, Billy froze even a wobbly. Move over, Jack and Vera. The Barneses are in Coronation Street and have taken up residence. Stephanie and Des Barnes are now installed in number 6.